Hello everybody. This video is going to be the first in a new series of videos that I'm going to record about fluid mechanics, which is one of the very basic courses that we teach to the chemical engineering students. I'm making this video just to be an introduction to this series and to give an outline of the course and what we are going to cover in this course. So the textbook that we are going to use is the Fluid Mechanics Fundamentals and Applications textbook. It's a very famous textbook, and I think it's being used in many universities for undergraduate fluid mechanics courses. And this it's a very nice textbook, and it gives a lot of examples, and it has a lot of figures and illustrations, and the language used is very simple and it's easy to understand for students learning about this topic. The only comment I have on this book is that the book sometimes discusses a point in a lot of details more than needed. So it may be a point that is easy to understand. It's kind of clear, but you'll see that the textbook will take 2 or 3 pages just discussing the same point. So this is the only comment I have. Otherwise, I think the textbook is very good one to use. So the textbook is very big, so we are not going to cover everything in the textbook. So we are covering some chapters and not all of these chapters. So we are covering the properties of first. It's going to be an introduction, which is like a simple introduction to the course, some basic concepts that we need to know about the fluids, and then we cover more details about the fluid properties in the second chapter, which gives the base on which we are going to build the rest of the chapters on. So we learn about the properties of fluids, what are the main properties that we care about, what are the units of these properties, types of fluids, and these are very important things that we need to learn or know about the fluids before we study the fluids, or how the fluids behave. And then in the next chapter, which is chapter number 2, we discuss the fluid statics, which means that the fluids that don't move in a state of static state. And this is the only chapter that discusses the fluid statics. It's not a complicated topic, so we don't spend a lot of time discussing it. The rest of the course, starting chapter 5 all the way to chapter 9, they are all discussing the fluid dynamics, which means that it's discussing the fluids in the state of motion. And the fluid motion is a very complicated issue, so that's why we take a lot of time discussing it and see how can we understand it, how can we describe it using equations. So this is a topic that takes a lot of time. We spend most of our time discussing the flow in pipes, which is a very common and important case. And then we have the flow through packed beds and fluidized bed. It's not in the textbook, but since our students deal with these cases a lot after graduation, for those who work in chemical plants or in systems that contain packed beds and fluidized beds, so it's good. One thing that we like to cover, and we have handouts for this from another textbook, so we already have materials for this part. And finally, we discuss the differential equations of fluid flow, which is also an important chapter that we cover at the end. So these are the topics that we are going to cover in this chapter, and by the end of the course, we should, and the students taking this course or watching this video should be able to analyze problems related to fluid statics, and to apply the mass, momentum, and energy balance equations to solve fluid problems. They can do how to do dimensional analysis, and the rest of the things is how to do calculations for packed and fluidized beds and solve problems for laminar and turbulent flows in pipes, and analyze external flows on flat surfaces or over bodies using the differential equations of fluid flow. So these are the outputs of this course. So starting the next video, we are going to start with chapter 1, which gives some basic overview of the fluid mechanics, and what do we mean by fluid mechanics, and what we expect to learn in more details. So this is going to be the topic of next video. So I'll see you then, inshallah. Goodbye.